He had been in the front office for the Baltimore Ravens since 1998. Now, he's the GM of the Los Angeles Chargers alongside Jim Harbaugh, the new head coach. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Hortiz. How are you, Joe?
Doing great. Appreciate you having me on.
Sorry we made you wait there. You know, we're talking to Drew McIntyre. We're going to the bathroom. Got a big intro. We're doing the whole thing. We appreciate you mightily for hanging out with us here for a little bit.
Yeah, and then you give me the intro, the lead in of, seeing the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl rings right before I come on.
No. Hey, that was Foxy. That's Evan Foxy.
Yeah, right when I hit play, that's on me. I knew it was not going to be good.
Yeah, we apologize. We apologize for that. At the Ravens, obviously don't love that. And, of course, at the Chargers, we don't enjoy that. But, hey, the future's brand new for the Los Angeles Chargers. Since getting there alongside, did you know Jim beforehand, obviously, with John Harbaugh being there in Baltimore? And what was the mindset immediately upon getting there for what the Los Angeles Chargers need to do going forward to win?
Yeah, my relationship with Jim actually began in 1998. He was our starting quarterback in Baltimore, and he used to whip me on the racquetball court on Fridays. Him and Eric Zire pulled me in. I was the whipping boy. They'd play cutthroat, and they just wanted someone to give them a break. So they found the young guy, the young personnel assistant, to come in and just give him a little cushion in there. But got to know him certainly through the years with John, working with John, and going into Stanford at first, and then Michigan, on school visits, but developed a good relationship with him, and it's been awesome since we've been together now. I mean, the mentality is it tough, physical, competitive. Competitors welcome, coach always says, and that's the approach we're taking.
All right, so when you draft Joe, when we're doing the So Big.
Yeah.
Not as big as his dad.
No. Went back to back.
Hey, go back to back. I want to say Jim Harbaugh is a beauty in every single situation. But as soon as you draft Joe Alt there at 5, and there had been conversations, I guess, by draft experts, maybe Latham, but a lot of people were thinking offensive line. Our reaction was this. This is all we did. We just want like this. We just want like this. This is exactly the first pick this new Los Angeles Chargers team was going to take, was an offensive lineman. Was there ever discussion about anything else, or did you know you were going in the trenches immediately?
Well, we certainly talk about every player, compare every player, but we know what the mindset is we want to develop here, and getting a guy like Joe is just, you're talking about a top level talent, athlete, competitor, great guy, culture builder. So it was kind of a no-brainer pick, and there wasn't much debate about him. And certainly, we want to get bigger, stronger, tougher. We're going to run the ball. We're going to pound on people, and he's just what you need for that.
I love that. Go ahead, AJ.
I believe I read somewhere where you have said that rounds like 4 through 7 are when great teams, I guess, kind of separate themselves, and that's when you make the most work kind of happen, and you trust your scouts. What does that mean exactly, and how do you guys think you did that this year?
I think every draft, everyone has everyone rated. All teams have the same type of boards in those first 3 rounds. So then you get into the 4th round. That's when you get a lot of spacing, players coming from your sideboards, 5th round, 6th round. So we just kind of drill down on the players in those rounds and who's really going to help us, who are the players we really love. Get together with the scouts multiple times leading up to the draft, involve the coaches in it. Coaches are scouting everyone on our front board. They're scouting players on the sideboard, so we're getting a lot of evaluations. And then the night before that day 3, we get together one last time and find out who the players are that scouts and coaches really have passion and conviction for.
And you start looking at the percentages of players that make it and don't make it. It's like obviously it gets lower as the draft goes on, but up in the top, it's not like a guarantee either. You need to fill your team cheap back there, right? 4, 5, 6, 7. That's small contracts for at least 4 years. That's a big deal, especially in the modern world with a quarterback getting paid, right? I assume that's adds a little heightened intensity on it all.
Yeah, those top ones you're expecting to hit on, right? First round pick, second round pick, third round picks. You're expecting to get players that are going to impact your team early on and start for you. The 4th, 5th round, 6th round players, that's where you're filling out the roster, and that's where you're looking. You're trying to find the gems, and we're excited about some of the guys we got there, and we think they'll have a chance to help us this year. But yeah, if you find a starter on day 3, or in free agency, you're gaining so much extra value from those picks.
How about the Niners? Their quarterback. the
right.
quarterback is the cheapest guy on the field. Think about that.
Right.
That is an absurd thought that it's working out.
Right.
Shout out to Brock Purdy. I'm sure Mr. Irrelevant this year will be Brock Purdy, too.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen. Ty has a question for you, Joe.
Joe, how much say or discussion did you guys have with Justin Herbert when it came to the picks? Like, obviously, I don't know if you let him know you're going to get him, but then especially when it comes to like Lad McConkey, like, is there like a list of receivers that he maybe said like, hey, I really like how this guy plays, I like how this guy plays, or how does that process go with Justin, knowing that he's obviously going to be you guys' guy for a long time?
Yeah, with Justin, we know what he's about. He's about competing and wanting the best team around him. And, he doesn't want to be a GM. He doesn't want to be a head coach. He wants to be the quarterback for the Chargers. And so we obviously know what we need to do to build a team around him. And the key is we can help the quarterback by making our defense better, and get him the ball back again. So he trusted us. And, we didn't look for a lot of input from him, but our goal was to help make the team around him better, and we think we did that.
He can kick field goals, too, if you need them. And punt.
Yeah.
The guy's a freak, dude. He really is.
He is a freak. Watch it. I tell you what, out here in our veteran minicamp and OTAs, just watching him spin the ball and, heck, watching him run. Like, he gets out there running, and it's like a guy that big shouldn't be able to move the way he does. But then you just watch him sit back and throw the ball. It's a thing of beauty. It's so impressive to see. So, like Lamar, obviously, long time in Baltimore, he has an ability to avoid big hits. That's a very important trait to have, especially if you're a runner of the ball in the NFL. Justin Herbert's big hello, I'm in the NFL play is him running, and he sent the other guy out of the game. Great.
He's
knocked him out. Yeah.
Lieutenant.
Is that not the perfect guy for you and Jim Harbaugh's quarterback, though?
100%. Yeah, 100%. That type of mentality, toughness, physical, aggressive play. That's what we want.
I love that. Number 5 overall pick is a pretty important one. D-Butt's got a question for you.
Yeah, we know you learned under Ozzie, and his first round pick was Jonathan Ogden, so it probably wasn't a doubt you're going to take a big boy, even though you have Slater there. But did you ever come close to trading that number 5 pick? Did you ever get any offers that made you, think twice about it?
Yeah, we did it. We had a couple calls, one probably on the clock or before the clock, and while we were on the clock, and it was a great offer in terms of what they were offering. They weren't trying to get up to 5 for cheap. But we felt where it would take us to just wouldn't put us in a range of players we really wanted to consider. So I felt like the best move was to take Joe. We were all in on Joe. Everyone loved Joe. Everyone from myself, Jim, all the scouts, all the coaches, John Spanos, we all were all in on Joe.
Oh my God! Now the internet is going to speculate who was trying to get to 5. Mm-hmm. That's all that's about to happen. Go ahead and tell us, Joe.
I won't tell you, but
come on.
There were a ton of there were a lot of teams calling me before the draft, and one called me during the draft, and while we were on the clock, and we just weren't willing to move.
Hey, Chargers digital team, let's get that shit out.
Need it.
We need that ASAP. Connor's got.
That was on my cell. That was on my cell, so you couldn't hear the recording, so you got no idea.
Oh, so that's why you guys do it. We saw the video of Joe Douglas on his cell phone, and we asked, we're like, is there not a phone to everybody? Why are we relying on that? Got it. And so nobody hears any.
Yeah.
Oh.
Behind the curtain look there,
Well, that's why Joe Douglas is doing it for sure.
Yeah. Makes sense.
He's in the video in the back, and they got to turn up the volume just to hear anything that he's saying in there. Good move by you. Hey,
pretty smart.
Respect.
Yeah.
This is like when players are mic'd, and they're NFL films, everybody's like, oh, we're going to get everything. And then players walk right up to somebody, and they're like, don't say anything. Yeah, that's exactly what you guys are doing in a war room. That's awesome to think about. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Joe, D-Bud kind of just mentioned it. You already have kind of the one great left tackles that is young and coming up and needs to be paid soon with Rashawn Slater. Obviously, Joe Alt, left tackle at Notre Dame. How do you manage, who plays left, who plays right? Is there some sort of rock, paper, scissors game here? Nice. And then especially with the recent drama with guys who have played right tackle and then, wanted to play left tackle, Orlando Brown actually at Baltimore. How do you kind of envision managing that type of situation if, hopefully things play out the way they do and they both become all pros at their position?
Yeah, our coaches will decide where players play. The players will show where they belong to play. I think the goal is to put the best 5 guys out there when you're talking about the offensive line. And we did it in Baltimore when I was there. We took Orlando. He was left tackle, put him at right, and he just wanted to play. And Joe knowing the competitor Joe is, he's going to play wherever we put him, and same goes for the rest of the guys on our offensive line. So we're going to put the best 5 out there and get after it.
I forget before the draft. I'll be excited to see how that shapes out because. I mean, just dogs. It's not bad to have a plethora of dogs on the offensive line, especially when he paid the quarterback and everything like that. There was a little bit of chatter. I don't remember if it was after the draft or before the draft that we didn't even really think of. But when Jim was coming out talking about J.J. McCarthy being the best quarterback in the draft, the best workout he's ever seen, some people, I guess, were like, all right, prove it. Trade us Justin Herbert, and then you guys draft J.J. McCarthy. Was there any real conversations that took place around, like not from your side, but other people calling, thinking it's a potential reality?
No, I can tell you this. I never got one call about it. I had some loose questions at the combine, and they were quickly shot down. So there was no real discussions about us ever trading Justin Herbert or teams really being interested. They know what we have. So, and they knew where we stood. So there was no real questions. I know there were some rumors out there, but I don't know where they're coming from. They're not coming from the Chargers organization because none of us got calls.
That would have been awesome if your first move in there. It's like, get this guy the hell out of here. Who's the guy that everybody in our fan base loves? Mm-hmm. Who is the guy that everybody is trying to find? And how the hell do we get him out of here? What a move!
Right. I may have been the shortest lived GM in the history of the NFL. I mean, congratulations, you're hired. Up, never mind.
Okay, Hortiz, go ahead and take a fucking hike, pal. Tone's got.
I don't think you understand what you're supposed to do here.
Trying to build a team to win. You see, that is the whole goal of this. Go ahead, Tone.
Joe, you ended up taking 2 of them, but before the draft, did Harbaugh let you know that you have to at least take one Michigan player off of his national championship team?
No, I tell you what, that he was so awesome with that. He certainly loves every single one of those players for good reason. One, they're great players, they're great people. He won a national title with them, and but he trusted the process, the stacking. I figured eventually we're going to end up having a good shot to get one. I didn't know who it was going to be. Felt like Junior might be there in the 3rd round, although it would be a long shot based on where everyone was predicting him. But we were all fired up to get him, and then to double down on Cornelius late in the draft was a guy that's just big, tough, competitive, made plays for him, and it's kind of a no-brainer pick there when he's sitting on the board.
Feels like the easiest way to scout him is to have the head coach that recruited him in there. Has been with him the entire time. You know the ins and outs and the cut of their jib. I would like to know why nobody else sang with Jim.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
I thought we were a fucking team, Joe. I thought we were a team.
Their fight songs, it's the same flow of Auburn's fight song. So if I would have started singing, I would have been singing Auburn's fight song.
Got it.
It's the same cadence, and I don't know Michigan's fight song. So, but I didn't want to get involved in that. Jesse probably could have jumped up there and got going on that,
Hey, he nailed it. Jim nailed it. How about Jim just in front of the whole room?
Go blue.
Go blue. At the very end, and it's like, hell yeah, here it is. Just.
Could be the Chargers fight song.
Heroes, hail to Michigan, the leaders and bows. Hail to the victors valiant, hail to the conquering heroes.
Joe, you just walked out?
Hail to Michigan, the champions of the West. Go blue.
I was going to have to tell our defensive coaches that I was going to tell them.
Hey, Jim's doing some shit. I don't know. It's all. It felt like a jovial room. Yeah, that's good vibes. Everybody seems to love ball.
We had fun in the draft. I mean, listen, we work in football. Let's have fun. That's our mentality. Work hard, play hard, compete, but most of all, just have fun doing it. It's a grind, and if you don't enjoy what you do, maybe you should do something else. So we're having a blast out here.
How many picks?
We had 9.
Might have drafted 9 Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Yep, probably.
The son of one.
Bingo. Legitimately have no idea going forward what's going to happen with him. Could be a damn Hall of Famer on the way out there.
Why not?
All of them. Why not have a blast in the draft? Yeah. We got a little tired and bored towards the end of the first round.
A little bit.
During our draft spectacular. We got a little tired, a little bummed out. But then Bill Belichick just started telling stories for 20 minutes. How much are you dialed in to the draft in there? And how much is wasting time, passing time to see if there's any moves to be made?
We have the draft on. We're watching it, but you're really just kind of when you pick at 5, you start thinking, okay, as the players come off, what's the strategy, who's going to be there, and you just kind of watch as it unfolds. Once you get into day 2 and day 3, you know you're going to go deeper in terms of your picks and your stacks. So you're kind of following strategy, seeing, kind of anticipating who's going to be available, what position runs are going. This group's eventually is going to quit picking wideouts or DBs or whatever it is, and this is the stack we're going to probably be picking from. So a little bit of strategy, a little conversation. Like I said, Jim and I are talking, John Spanos and I are talking the whole time. What are we thinking here? And so more focused than you think, but still having fun.
Does Jim just start lifting in the middle? Just take his shirt off, just start lifting in the middle. Does he have cleats on during the draft?
He does not have cleats on during the draft. No,
Okay.
that's only on the draft.
Okay, good. Yeah, because we couldn't see the bottom with the way they cut the camera. We were wondering, is there cleats down?
Clacking around the room.
Hail to the victor. Go ahead, AJ.
We mentioned how you wanted to have tough, competitive, gritty, smart players. I would assume if you talk to any GM around the league, they would have a similar thing. How do you make sure that you're actually doing that? You're actually bringing the right type of people in. We know Jim's going to bring that culture with him, but how do you that's what we all want, but how do you guys make sure that that's who you're bringing in?
Yeah, when you watch the film on a player, you see it. You see the physicality they play with, the finish they play with AJ. Late in the game, are they still competing? If they're up 40, down 40, things like that, And then you go to practice. What's their practice tempo like? Our scouts pay attention out of practice. Are they going hard during practice? And a lot of it comes from the support staff. What they say the players like off the field, in the weight room, his mentality. So you kind of put it all together to paint the picture. But certainly the film's going to tell you the initial story, and it's going to validate what you're hearing off the field or contradict it.
When you do like combine and all those sit-down interviews, is it all bullshit now because everybody's kind of prepped with everything that could potentially happen? Do you feel that way? And is the visit the most important part of it all?
You can take advantage of the combine visit still. I think we don't try to ask them canned questions so we don't get canned answers. I think a lot of it is just to let the player be himself in the room and kind of identify, we watch a lot of film with them, and talk ball and talk about him as a person. But it's really to try to get them to show us who they are. We're not really looking to ask them the canned questions and where they're from and, things that they can prepare for. We just want them to be themselves and kind of show us who they are. It's more of them talking, and, the questions are more ball related. So we kind of get a scope of their knowledge of where they're coming from and what we think they can do.
Do you find yourself getting distracted by the awesomeness of Jim Harbaugh?
I tell you what, you walk in the room, you feel it, don't you? There's an incredible amount of energy with him. It's awesome. I really do. I feel blessed. I work for a great organization. First time GM, get hired by the Spanos family, and then Jim Harbaugh is my head coach, and Justin Herbert's our quarterback. And man, I really feel lucky and blessed. I really do. It's really a perfect thing to walk into.
Anytime I've been around him, it's hard not to just walk everything he does. That's entertaining.
Tackle.
That's entertaining. Yeah, at the annual league meeting, he tackled me in the hallway to explain why he thinks the hip drop tackle should be out of the game. I'm like, Coach, we like physical football. We want to keep football. We're banning the hip drop tackle. We're not banning tackling. Okay, we're banning the hip drop tackle, and then he grabs me and then does a hip drop tackle to me. He's like, we're trying to get rid of this. This is what we're getting rid of, and it's just like this man's energy is phenomenal all the time, seemingly. What a weapon! Yeah. He's a fucking weapon, Joe.
It is. He is. He walks in the room, lights it up, man. And like you talk about the combine interviews, the script and everyone canned and everyone's prepared. They're not prepared to walk in with coach, man. Like you walk in there, the energy is just elite, and so. But that's what it does. It pulls it out from the player. So you see the guys that can keep up with coach, and have that same energy. So he's special. Now, he's a unique coach who brings energy, charisma, passion, knowledge of the game, experience at the level. So it all comes out. That it's awesome.
And he wins. That's what he does. He literally wins.
He wins everywhere. That's why he wins. He's proven it over and over.
I think his dad said, if my kid's quirky, is how you want to describe it, I hope that I'm quirky as well, because his players love him. They work hard for him. They win. What? They show up at every stage. It's like, yup. Literally, everything about him screams winning all the time. He's a reigning national champion. Right?
Yep.
And then he got a tattoo.
Yes, he did.
Awesome.
The most Jim Harbaugh tattoo of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Just we don't need any pizzazz here.
Yeah, no flair.
Just
Give me the letter.
15-0. That is all.
Yeah.
That is all we need in this entire thing.
Good point.
Yeah, absolutely. Pac-Man's got a question for you, Joe.
Joe, we know Jim's going to run the ball. He wouldn't have got the big guy up front. Deep running back room. But you got rid of 2 veteran wide receivers. Are you good with the receivers you got with the younger guys, or are you looking at bringing in a veteran? How do you feel in the receiver room?
Yeah, Pac-Man, you know, I think you're always looking to add players at all positions. But in terms of our room, you know, really excited about Josh and Q and DD walking in the building, and Simi. You know, we know there's some young talent here. And then being able to add the 3 players we added, really excited. And I feel like it's going to be competitive, and there's going to be some playmakers out there and some speed and size. And then, sure, you know, you're always looking outside. How can we continue to improve? So keep an eye on the market and keep an eye on the players out there.
Did you call him DD?
What's that?
Did you call Lad DD?
No, that's Lad. Lad. No, I'm talking about the guys that were here before we had the draft.
Oh, I was about to say, because 2 D's on that name does.
Was that Darius Davis from TCU?
Yeah, Didi. Oh, okay, yeah, Didi, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm talking about Darius Davis.
Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, because I thought, I was like, does Lad go by DD?
Already got a nickname.
That's
Pretty
not,
sweet.
that's not
I actually think Lad's given name may be Andrew.
It is.
It is, right?
What?
Yeah. Lad's his middle name.
Yeah, so my 11-year-old
Good move.
hits me up with a text, you know, Julian, my youngest, and he's like, Dad, what? I'm confused here because on the draft tracker it says Andrew McConkey. I'm like, well, he goes by Lad, you know, so it didn't make sense to him. He's like, you know, do we pick the wrong guy? You know, I'm like, no, I just screwed that up. You know?
Well, there's been like an email issue or a fax issue in the past when it comes to trades or moves. If you were to draft the wrong person in 2024, that would be awesome. You're talking about trading Justin Herbert getting run out of town.
First draft.
That would be. What did you see in Lad? Obviously 4.39. The guy's a winner. I think when we did game day, he gave tickets to a kid, and like he's a hero down there in Athens. Obviously, what'd you see in him? And did you think he was going to be around in the second round?
So we thought he could go towards the end of the first. We did. You know, we were hoping he'd be around in the second. That's obviously one of the reasons we traded up for him. We were worried about, you know, hey, let's not let him get away from us. And it didn't cost us much. But in terms of a player, you know, he's versatile. Certainly, he plays inside and outside. Just such a great feel for the game and spatial awareness. And then you add the explosive element of his speed on top of it. You know, it's really a dynamic combination of things. And great after the catch, tough, competitive. You love his story. Walk on, you know, former walk on, just earned reps with a bunch of good players on that roster. And no coaches that coached him that are no longer there that talk about how great of a player he was when he had all that talent around him and they couldn't keep him off the field. And I have a good relationship with Kirby and Will.
On Auburn right there, cooking Auburn.
I know. It happens at times, you know. We're gonna turn it around down there, you know. He was gonna flip the script.
Jeez.
He likes that route.
Double move.
Yeah, you guys are showing it. He's so sudden and explosive and such a great route runner. So just knows how to get open, knows how to do something after the catch.
4.39 there for him. Did you think about drafting Cooper DeJean too, just to do the unicorn tag team there?
Best player available.
Yeah, amen. All right, hey, coach. Sorry, I don't want to call you coach. Nobody would say GM either, though.
No.
Yeah, sir.
They just call you Joe.
You call me Joe. You get called coach every once in a while. You know people because you're right. They're not going to call you GM.
So Joe, is that the proper?
Yeah, that's good. I guess. Yeah.
I've been calling you Joe the whole damn time, so I hope it's not disrespectful.
Maybe Joe with a G.
Oh, like go?
Oh yeah, I guess that changes it to go.
Be the English language.
Yeah, whoops.
That's on us. Anyways, we appreciate you joining us, man. Thank you for taking so much time.
Absolutely appreciate you guys having me on.
What do we got right now? What's going on? Obviously, OTAs are taking place, and then we got
OTAs right now, and then I'm gonna head on home to Baltimore to go see my family. They're still out there, so
hold on. Jim's in an RV. I heard you're in a interesting living predicament as well right now.
Yeah. So I live with it caught the local media off guard when I said I live with Chad Alexander, our assistant GM, and Corey Krawick, our director of strategy, who I brought over from Baltimore. So you know, I got a 3-bedroom house that's big enough for my family when they come out to visit. But, you know, I told them, like, listen, I'm going to have this house. We're going to be moving up to El Segundo in June. So if you guys want to just crash at the place when my family's not here, you're welcome to. So they stay at the house, and they each have their own room. Corey's got to sleep on a little day bed with a trundle, so he kind of gets the short end of the stick. But, you know.
Director of strategy, maybe one day you'll get an assistant GM or GM title, pal. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Sounds like you guys are like a college atmosphere over there.
Yeah. Sweet.
It is. Yeah. It is. You got Jim and G-Ro living across from each other in their RVs, and we got a bunch of roommates here in the house. So it's
General
great.
manager
G-Ro.
living with the assistant.
Talking ball all the time.
G-Ro's back.
Good names.
Yeah, Greg Roman. I mean, that video of them in their RV talking about how nice this is.
Yeah. So cool.
When it rains, sleeping at night.
Oh, it's best sleep ever, said Jim Harbaugh. It's a wonderful program you guys are seemingly building over there, and we appreciate the hell out of you, Joe.
I appreciate you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Hortiz.
Yeah. Yo.